Hi, I'm Beth, and this is how I'm doing it. I'm sitting at my computer desk today editing a video that I promised my friends I would make of how I make crock-pot mashed potatoes. Basically, this premise is that instead of putting them on the stovetop in a pot with boiling water, then we take the same potatoes that we have peeled and put into the crock-pot, just simmering them overnight in the crock pot while we're sleeping. And then the next morning, we will go ahead and mash them and treat them the same way we would our regular potatoes. The main idea here being that it saves some time because they are going overnight rather than the day of, which is especially useful on Thanksgiving as it was this year. And then also it saves a spot on the stove. It saves an eye on the stove that I can use for other things because I'm using my crock pot. So let's give it a go. Okay, so I've got 15 russet potatoes, skins off, that have been boiling in the crock pot on low overnight. So now I'm going to drain them out into the sink, drain the water out into the sink, and then test them for the tenderness. And then from there, I'm going to start adding my different add-ins. We're going to do milk and butter and salt. You can add other things, but my children don't like things with a lot of spices yet, so we're going to keep it relatively plain. Okay, so I drained my potatoes in my strainer in the sink. I did not bank on these potatoes being this golden color. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just not the same white color. So if you're looking for that bright white color that you get from boiling them directly on the stovetop, this will be different in this method. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the butter and drop these pieces into the potatoes. The reason that I'm cutting it is because I'm increasing the surface area, and so that helps the butter to melt faster. There is a little orange piece on here, and that's from when I cut carrots earlier. It's not going to affect anything, but I wanted you to know. I'm sure someone would see that in the video and wonder, why does she have something orange on her knife? So I'm just going to cut these in hand. If you would like to be a little safer, you can cut it on a cutting board or a dish. This cutting in hand method, I used to watch my paternal grandmother do this. And when I was a little girl, it scared me to death at the time. I could not understand how could she cut in hand and not cut herself. But then as I got older and tried it, I understood. So then we are going to take this, and I'm going to let my little girl start to mash these, and the butter will mash into the potatoes. Okay, so my baby girl now is mashing the potatoes that she helped to peel. And then I'm going to show her that occasionally when you're mashing potatoes, you want to shake it off like that on the side so that you can have more force as you're pushing down. Now that right now is just the butter. I'm going to pause the video so that I can add some milk to make this more smooth. Okay, now I'm going to add some milk. This is 2%. You can use whole. This is just what I happen to have on hand. And I do not measure things. I just start adding, and we start going until it's the consistency that we like. I know some people will use a hand mixer so they can get it perfectly smooth. We are not that family. We actually really like to have it with a little bit of chunks in it. The imperfections with the little tiny chunks as you're eating it is desirable to us. We are also that family that enjoys drinking like orange juice with the pulp in it. So we like it when our items have a little bit of texture to it. Now, I believe it looks like I want to add a little bit more, and I'm just eyeballing this just from experience. Baby girl here is going to continue to mix, and let's see what we get. And then I'm going to shake some salt into this, but this is the extent of what we're going to put in it. Just butter and milk and salt. You can add garlic to it if you like. You can add some other seasonings if you like, but this is how our family likes it, and you should make it how your family likes it. Okay, so while baby girl here is mashing, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of salt. This is just regular salt, and I threw it in there. As she mixes it, the salt will get incorporated into the mixture. And I call her baby girl, but she's really 9 going on 10, but she is my youngest child, so Even when we're both old and gray, I will still call her baby girl. I may be 95 years old and she may be in her upper retirement years, but I'm still gonna call her baby girl. Okay, so here is our finished product, and baby girl tasted it and said it passed with her seal of approval. She is very proud of these potatoes. She had a tremendous part in making, just very minimal help from me. Now, I am going to put this crock back in my crock pot over here on keep warm. That way they won't continue cooking and dry out, but they will stay warm until I have all the rest of the food ready. And like I said, you know, there is a beautiful golden color here. It just is different than the stark white color that you may be used to when you cook these faster on the stovetop in boiling water. So this type of crock pot cooking leaves it with a more golden color. I think the colors just do something there and move throughout the potatoes as they cook overnight in this method. I want to thank you all for watching as we made our Thanksgiving potatoes in a new way. This crock pot method of soaking these potatoes on low overnight after they've been peeled seems to have really worked for us today. It did save some time so that I could focus on cooking other things for Thanksgiving Day this morning. I hope everyone is safe and healthy, and I do appreciate all of my viewers. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Beth, and this is how I'm doing it.